Okay, Maraca, shut the fuck up.
Already screwed up in the first second. Okay, coming to you live from deep within a smoky and sort of on fire radioactive wasteland. We are the survivors of the alt-right apocalypse. The few, the brave, the bitchy, once more wading into battle against the froggy lobster zombie alpha hordes. Maraca hordes, yes. Apparently we also have a dog Maraca.
Yeah.
In the orchestra pit. This is Rantzerker number 179. Not an amusing number, but there it is. And I am your host, Allison, and with me is Brian and Hannah to dive into.
And Karen. Hannah's not here.
And Karen. Oh crap! Sorry, Karen. Can you just pretend to be Hannah for this?
I don't think we have time for that.
Just so I don't have to be embarrassed.
Okay, let me just tie an onion on my belt. It won't be a red onion. It'll just be a yellow onion, because that's the only onions you could get during the Great Depression. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but it's not a pickled onion.
But it was the style at the time.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So our topic today. Well, Brian, tell us about our topic today.
Well.
Since I gave it to you and you were the only one who watched it.
Yeah, this came from one of our fellow Badgers from within the Discord, right? It was a suggestion.
Well, it was a suggestion by a quiet supporter.
Yeah,
it was
quiet supporter.
Could you cover this? This looks. I would like to know your guys' erudite opinion upon this matter. And we were like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
So what this is we're gonna be 3 levels of reaction deep, I think, or 2 at least. So
we can go deeper.
No, but the problem is that it's all easy if one of our followers says, "Can you rip the asshole? Can you rip this guy's anus out?" Right? And display it as your victory flag, and then barbecue it for dinner. Okay, that's.
Yeah.
Those are easy. They take a long time, but
yeah,
good barbecue always takes a little time.
Yeah, gotta smoke it.
But when you
sear it.
Yeah, no, and you gotta let it, sometimes you gotta go low and slow. But when you have someone saying, "I genuinely like your opinion on this."
Oh no, that was me being facetious. Friend, I don't think I don't think erudition. I don't think erudition is going to be the word of the day for this response.
Are we being asked to turn some lips and assholes into sausage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Some. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
So let me give you a little background before I start the video and display it. Apparently, Tim Pool had Fresh and Fit on his Timcast IRL podcast, which I think he does every day. I don't know. I don't really watch it. They're usually about 2 or 3 hours long, and they cover all kinds of stuff. So Sam Seder is, I think he's the guy that runs the Majority Report, which is Sam Seder.
Yes. And Matt Binder.
Matt, the literally chattel Binder. And the woman,
literally chattel.
Yeah, literally chattel.
No,
just 100 or so years ago. 100 or so
Yeah.
years ago. And Emma Vigland. Emma, I don't understand crime and poverty's relationship. Vigland. And they're responding to a clip that they took from Tim Pool's podcast with Fresh and Fit. And we're going to be responding to Sam Seder's and Emma Vigland's response to Tim's response. But we may also be responding in part to Tim and Fresh and Fit's response. So it's like...
Oh, fuck. Okay. So
someone has to make a video responding to us. It's 2 levels.
How many levels deep in Inception are we? And how many Advil do I need to take right now? Because I only have one regular strength.
Oh my god! I see Karen with her singular regular strength Advil. Hopefully it'll get you through it.
Thank God it's a gel cap.
It'll hit your stream
For
quick.
maximum quick performance. Okay, I'm taking it now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into it, I do want to remind everyone that we are doing our monthly fundraiser so that we can continue to bring you lively and intensive content such as this. So please go to feedthebadger.com/support. We have 1 day left and about, I think, 1,615-ish to go. So if you can help out, that would right now. I mean, this is it. We're in the end. And I'm already like I'm clutching my pearls and very sweaty, worried about whether or not we're gonna make it. So please go to feedthebadger.com/support and put my mind to ease, shall we say? I'd be very appreciated. And
just remember, we're always highbrow and respectable.
yes, that's what you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the we bring the kind of discourse. We elevate the discourse.
We really do.
Yeah, and that's what everybody needs, an elevated discourse.
Well,
All right.
I can continue to day drink and wait for the Advil to kick in.
Ooh,
So.
Advil and drink. I guess that's not too bad. All right, so feedthebadger.com/support to make sure this content keeps coming. And make sure me and Brian can continue to feed our doggos. As you might see, there is a doggo on stream.
Oh yeah.
He is our what do they call them? The therapy animals?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys need a good show to go with the show we're about to respond to. So this JoJo is there to take a little bit of the edge off, and he's chewing away at a bone I got him that I've been saving for today. So
a little bit of ASMR doggo content.
a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. It's not. He's pretty quiet. He's a quiet chewer.
We should spring for a close mic for JoJo.
Yeah, right. No, let's.
So we can enjoy the doggo chewing surround sound. All right. So once
Okay,
again,
I just don't understand how you guys are describing dogs as like emotional support animals.
Mhm.
My dogs are like
your dogs are like insane tachyons.
they are random elements in my ordered universe.
Yeah,
They do keep me on my toes, and I do love them.
Well, they keep you grounded in what matters. Slobber, going for walks,
I love
catching
them.
balls.
I love them. I love them.
Yeah, they like I said, they show us how to enjoy life because often humans don't, and it's not like we're helping by going into this content. But anyway, so support us, feedthebadger.com/support. I will have to do some arm twisting because we are in the very final stretch, and it does need to get funded.
Mhm.
So probably we'll do that at the half hour. Maybe we'll have to go to some feminist screeching, but that might require. For some reason, Brian never puts it in his soundboard.
Well, because he doesn't want to listen to it.
doesn't wanna
Allison.
listen.
Well, I haven't really made time to like add stuff to my soundboard. I got the Y preacher in last, and I still have to add testicles, and I don't remember how I did it, but I used to have, before my computer ate its own asshole, I used to have like jank sounds and Anna Kasparian and Matt Binder's chattel. That was my favorite one.
Literally chattel.
I'll have to. I guess I'll have to like do some I don't know, covert shit to get all that back, because those are my favorite bits. But yeah, not an argument.
Okay.
That was a Stefan Molyneux one that I used to have. But anyway, all right, okay,
All right.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Feedthebadger.com/support. Get those supports in. If you're able to, do it now because we are running out of time. Just 1 day left. Also, if you want to send us a message, feedthebadger.com/justthetip is the very best way to send us a message because you avoid YouTube's sieve of censorship and we get the full benefit of the dosh, the mullahs. The mullah. You should get the
shekels.
The shekels. You should get the clip of the odd world mullah. I'll find it for you. I'll show it to you. It's pretty funny.
Oh, okay.
Well, probably nobody will understand the reference because it's odd world games. Okay, that works too. All right, so feedthebadger.com/support to make sure this radio show keeps going. Feedthebadger.com/justthetip to send us a message and send us the full benefit of the funds that go with that message. All right, let's shall we?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to the Rumble gang. What's up? Put some cool doges in the chat. They have access to the cool doge emoji, so do it. All right, so let us now get into the video. I just got like a new keyboard, and the mouse is like super sensitive, like it moves super fast. All right, so here's the video. This is the Majority Report with Sam Seder. The title is Fresh and Fit, Take Tim Pool to Alpha Male School. And so Sam Seder is going to take both Fresh and Fit and Tim Pool to the real
soy school.
Really, no, the true alpha male school. He is the top lobster. All right, well let's start. I got some simple stuff in the beginning, and then there's some spicier stuff that I think will really get the blood boiling a little later on. So
Tim Pool, I don't know. I always was of the mind that one day, like when you've given so many like bad sort of analysis of politics and whether you've proven wrong time and time again, that you'll stop. Mm-hmm. You'll be too embarrassed.
He stopped predicting civil war because he did that dozens.
Oh no, he has not.
Of times.
No, it's been like a week, I think, since his last prediction of civil war. But
we're sort of in civil war. It's just that everybody's too cowardly to make it into something.
Well, I think it's coming. If things, it all rides on 2024, and if things are as dubious and suspicious as they were in 2020, I think you might have civil war in the U.S. I think you might.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there are people that want that.
I think that there are
a whole party of people that want that.
Oh well, no, there are a whole party of people who want an attempted insurrection that they can actually prove was an attempted insurrection, so that they can basically criminalize half the population of the United States, but and throw them all in prison. But I think things are gearing up. If there is anything freaking hinky about the 2024 election, the only saving grace of this election, right, coming up, is that all the election interference that they're doing is out in the open. It's like freaking shit indictments over nothing, right? And they're just like bogging him down in legal battles and all of that, right? It's obvious now, right?
Yeah.
So
Sam Seder has just affirmed to us that to think such a thing is ridiculous, and he's the alpha Chad. So we're just overreacting.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look at that face. Okay, look at that face.
Which one?
It is deeply smug. The
only reason he has a chin is because he has no jawline.
Well, it's the beard. The beard is a substitute for a jawline. All right, Allison, what were you gonna say?
Well, I'm gonna find the perfect
The perfect
sea lion image. The perfect sea lion image.
Oh, the adoring.
Yeah, no. The I have seen this face before. It is an elephant seal, surveying his harem.
Yeah,
complete with lack of chin, because the seals are very cute, but they do not have chins. So I guess they're not Chad.
No.
Or they just don't have have the same kind of. But I can't. It's going to be quite difficult to find it, so I'll have to look for it as we go through. Let's watch a bit more.
All right, let's watch some more. Okay.
Now he says it's a communist revolution, so it's moved on.
So it's evolving.
Graduated, yeah.
But
because that's totally hyperbolic too.
Once you've run out of that, what do you do? Well, maybe you get into some men's rights and pickup artist stuff. You bring back some of the greatest hits.
Oh, it's just funny. You know what's really freaking annoying? I got into this because I wanted recognition of male victims of sexual assault. Period. by women, by not just by men, by women, but also female victims by women. That was one of my big drivers. And the response to just talking about this and just looking at the statistics and saying, hey, I don't think we really know what's going on. The response by feminists to that got me digging deeper and deeper. And I was never a conservative. I didn't come from this from a conservative perspective. I was definitely a liberal. I voted Green, marched in like the G8 rallies, and marched for gay rights. Okay? I was a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. And when I saw the response to even me talking about the issues facing male victims of rape from people like this, I started to dig deeper and look more carefully at the issues and see more and more. And the fact that they laugh at men's rights and men's issues is disgusting.
Yeah. Meme request. Okay.
I just
meme request. Somebody please do a side by side and then bringing it together of Sam Seder and Rachel Maddow, please.
I bet AI can do that. This is literally
the joke. Remember the old joke? Well, if Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman aren't the same guy, how come we haven't ever seen them in the same movie
place
together?
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. But my point is that they laugh at recognizing men's issues. This is what they're laughing at. And actually advocating.
It's the smug expression. That's what makes Sam Seder and Rachel Maddow look identical.
Yeah.
They look identical because they have that trained, smug expression, right? It looks vaguely concerned about real issues, but also like infinitely morally superior to the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is repulsive, and the laughter is like that really just. So essentially what you're saying is men will never get their issues even considered to be serious. Well, of course not, because you're the alpha male, and every men who have issues are the weak, non-reproducing neuters that you don't have to concern yourself with, right, Sam? But the fact that they laugh at it, that means that men's issues will never be taken seriously as long as these people control the narrative. Mm-hmm. And they will, and if a world in which women, it's not really that women aren't really doing anything or really have true freedom, but we've constructed this elaborate harem where women think they do. And if we can't both construct this elaborate harem through the sacrifice of men and actually care about men, it's just like when they talk about losing women's rights, of course, what they actually mean is the elaborate set piece, the elaborate stage scenery of the harem is falling down. That's what they mean when they say losing women's rights. They have to be confronted with actual reality, and they think that's losing rights. This, like, if it's incompatible. Well, they're essentially saying that it's these two things. Their ideology is incompatible with men's issues.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
I've been saying it. Yes, it is. Because their ideology is built on an idea that there must be in every relationship an oppressor class and an oppressed class, and men will always be the oppressor class because the inverse of that is unthinkable. And the idea that everybody has problems, which is kind of like, common sense, that's also unthinkable because it doesn't support the necessary structure of their argument, which is built on the idea that men are the oppressor class and women are the oppressed class. There's no such, even when they have to accept that men deal with shit, they have to blame men for it. Or they say it's a system, or Mr. Doctor Professor Society that did it, not women ever. And look, I was a liberal for most of my life, but I now know that being a liberal has nothing to do with these people. They're not liberal. They're leftist. That's different. It's very different. So this is something that the left has co-opted liberalism and they say it's theirs and everyone just goes along with it. And it's just not true. They're not liberal. I don't know how many times do I have to say it? They're literally not that. They create their own. They create an inversion of a hierarchy that they think exists that doesn't. So they're yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to add that it seems like everything that gets co-opted by, dare I say the word gynocentrism, or alternatively women worsting, women always have it worst, that ideology just becomes a bizarre shadow of itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry for
it's okay. You got some support. So I got a super chow, and I think that's a donation, some support and a super chow comment. So I should probably read that really quick. Yes. Sleepy Aussie sends us $5 and I think $100 to the fundraiser. Is that right, Allison? And he says I don't know, you might be female. One of the reasons you guys are good is you just want to let men be. Unlike Sammy here. Also, hey Karen. So he says hello. That's a $100 hello, Karen. You better reply to that.
Hello, Sleepy. I appreciate that. That's really wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to let men be. Let men be what they are. Stop poking them.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can poke people, right? You can poke anyone. Right?
I think we could just
punish
for a while.
Don't punish them if they're not doing anything wrong, right? Okay, if they're just sitting there, if I'm just sitting here and I'm minding my own business and I'm not doing anyone any harm, right? But I'm not doing myself or anyone else any good. I deserve a poke. I deserve a poke. I don't deserve to be punished. I don't deserve to be punished for going out and doing myself some good and my community and my freaking country, going out. I don't deserve to be punished even when I'm doing good, right? And that's the horrible double bind, the catch-22 that they've put men in since the second wave, right? Where it's been, if you can't beat a woman with your affirmative action hands tied behind your back, if you can't outcompete her, you're a loser. But if you do outcompete her, you're just an asshole who used his male privilege to steal an opportunity from a more deserving woman.
I actually got a feminist to shut up about that. She was a stay-at-home, and she had a husband, and she said that her husband agreed with her feminism, and even admitted that he got his job because of white male cis privilege. And I told her,
you got your job for female privilege, because you know how many men are being supported by their spouses?
Yeah, but then I hit on the thing that actually shut her up. I said, why aren't you telling your husband, whose income is allowing you to stay at home, and you've already admitted that that's a benefit that working class women could only dream of having.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell your husband to give up his job to the woman he stole it from?
Yeah.
And you go get a job. And she shut up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because she has no answer to that. She's willing to allow her husband to believe that he got what he got.
Is a scumbag. He's a scumbag. He's the lowest of the low. He's the filthiest of the
But she's
filth.
not allowed to. She does not want to look at the fact that within her own framework, she is living off the dirty proceeds of patriarchal or male privilege, and she's benefiting from it.
Yeah, and she's loving every minute of it, and it's like, yeah, no, I have to still acknowledge that this male privilege exists, while simultaneously justifying that I'm just trapped.
Nope, she couldn't do it. She just shut up and went away.
Yeah, no, they do. They all do. every woman, including me, right, who has managed to carve out an existence as a domestic person, okay? And I did this when I was working class. My ex was a short order cook, okay? So we were not living high off the hog. And I had a kid, one baby, another on the way. And I was like, we had both agreed there is no way our kids are going to be raised by strangers. And there's no way we're going to bottle feed them. Because fuck that shit. Okay? And I did everything in my frickin' power to make it possible. I shot... The manager of the grocery store would groan when I came up the sidewalk because I used the rewards program and I shopped sales. And I got boxes, right, of Rice Krispie treats for my kids' school lunches for 19 cents a pack because I used coupons that I got from buying a box of cereal that was on sale for half price, right? And I saved them up until the Rice Krispie squares went on sale for half price, and then I got them for almost negative money.
Talk
right?
about Inception.
Oh, yeah, no, it was, I got 12 sets of Royal Doulton tableware dishes for free. I got Martha Stewart towels. I got Martha Stewart bakeware. I got Martha Stewart cookware. I got Martha Stewart frickin' stemware. I got Villeroy and Bosch knives. I got Villeroy and Bosch stemware. I got frickin' Villeroy and Bosch glassware. And I got fucking, what was the last thing I fucking got? Oh my God.
Can we get back
You got
to
a
this?
lot.
It was a bunch of chef's knives. Okay,
Yeah.
and I got all of that for free collecting stickers. And then on top of that, collecting stickers, just buying shit at the grocery store, collecting stickers for the sticker program, and then getting the stickers my friends weren't planning to use because they didn't need this, that, or the other, right? Collecting those and like putting them on cards and going and redeeming them.
I could just
All that for
imagine
free.
Karen's shopping she has like a board in her basement with the string and all of these,
Yeah, no, it was like
these
string
news
and freaking-
clippings and pictures and
Oh yeah,
and cartons and she's just like
not just all this merchandise, okay, that I got for free, right? Buying shit when it was on sale. If there was, because they used to do receipts, right, at my grocery store, right? You spent, you saved. And if I spent $100 and I didn't save at least 50 off of the things that they included in that, which did not include meat or produce, only included, like UPC items, right? If I did not save at least $50 on every $100 I spent, I was disappointed in myself. And I freaking collected stickers, and I collected them from everybody I knew. Everybody I knew who just didn't need new bath towels.
okay, and let's get to the conclusion.
And then on top of that, 10% off your next grocery shop.
Let's narrow this down.
You save up your $800 grocery shop and you get 10% off that, right? And then the 25% gas card to fill up your tank. Well, it's like, yeah, no, I almost single-handedly bankrupted that grocery store because I was just like, if it's legal, I'm going to do it. I'm going to save the money. I'm going to rescue furniture. I'm going to
that would make a
refinish it.
great wacky cartoon, Karen versus the grocer.
Well, and Karen versus the dump, right? Because I used to go to the dump and get free furniture and then fix it up. I did
hazard a guess.
I did everything so that I could stay home.
Yes. All right, there we go. Now reel it back in. You could stay home and to benefit the person who was paying for that, to make sure that he was capable of paying for that. Well, this individual's husband is likely a big shot, makes a lot of money. She probably spends like there's no tomorrow. And she's bought all of this based on her own ideology, based on the filthy wages of male privilege. So she is actually stealing food from another woman's mouth in order to do this, according to hers.
No, according to her, but according to the women who talked to Warren Farrell, right? According to the women of men who had good careers, right? They were not feminists because they did not want women undercutting their husbands, right? And when you actually, when you go to that, oh God, it was Goodfella, uploaded this old video out of the UK, might have been Scotland, might have been just the UK in general, right? Where they were asking people on the street, this is in the 1960s, do you support equal pay for women? Everybody supported it, men and women. But they gave their reasons, and the reasons why they supported equal pay for women is because women were bringing wages down because they were willing to, if you could pay a woman less than a man, right? Then who would hire a man?
Right.
Yeah. So you basically had a situation, and only men have the financial responsibilities for the entire family. So if you have to pay women as much as men, they will hire men.
Okay. I am actually, I don't even remember how this related. I think this started.
We can just get back to the video.
Yes, let's just get back to the video.
Because there's still a lot here, and we've already.
I should do, just so you know, I should do some thank yous, but we can do it after the next.
All right, let me play a little bit. Let me play some more.
With his theory about how we should be shaming women that he doesn't like, I guess.
And we need leaders to do it.
Okay, wait. So we should be shaming women he doesn't like.
We should be shaming women who do bad things.
Yeah, you realize that in a functional society, the members of that society have to actually submit, maybe not to shaming, but at least guilt. Like a system of guilt in which their behavior is moderated so that it is productive for the entire community. They would understand that in terms of everybody wearing masks and other stuff like that, but not in terms of single mothers are creating health hazards and moral hazards. Like they're making communities less safe. They're a drain on resources. Mm-hmm. They require police to function as father figures.
Yes,
essentially, and and then when they do so, when they do the things that fathers would do. Very distant, uninvolved fathers who are very authoritarian, they get upset and they want them to stop. It's like this single mothers is creating an enormous weight on our society, and the only reason why we can carry it is because we are basically we have discovered sort of a very soft, insidious way of colonizing everyone else on the planet. Let's be honest.
And we also have gotten really, really, really comfortable with living in debt.
Yeah,
but so we are actually spending the not
appreciable debt, right? Like, I mean, there is this thing where you look at a car loan versus a mortgage, and you can expect your house to generally expect it to appreciate in value, and you can expect your car to depreciate the moment that you drive it off the lot. Okay, so. But, a mortgage is a very good loan to take on. A car loan, you have to be a little more careful. Credit card debt to buy groceries, really not a good thing. Or living room
furniture. Unless you can pay it off at the end of the month.
Unless you can pay it down to zero, end of the month. And then it's like a great debt because it builds up your credit rating. But,
it also builds up your points. And then you get shit.
Yeah, but... what you're looking at is we now have this kind of system where everybody thinks it's okay to just carry massive amounts of consumer debt. And I don't think that you can include mortgages in consumer debt, right? Like taking out a mortgage on a house is called a death debt. It's not called mortgage means death debt. That's not consumer debt. You're buying an asset in order to use it, and frickin' it's going to appreciate in value, and even if it doesn't, it's
I feel like
better
we
than
should
renting.
rename this Life Hacks with Karen.
Let's do, because there's more context here.
But yes, but
Let me
what
Make
I'm
your
saying,
point.
What I'm saying is we have talked people into living in debt. We have talked people into selling out their grandkids, their great-grandkids' futures to finance the largesse of today. And all of that was made possible by an ethic. I'm not going to call it a liberal ethic. I'm going to just call it an ethic of pay people to do stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to realize that the only reason we can do this is those sweatshops in China.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every feminist who's like, sweatshops, right? Well, you know what? We cannot be this unwilling to manage our social fabric and make ourselves productive. We can't carry this burden of single motherhood without sweatshops in China.
Yep.
And without environmental degradation. And without petrodollar. Like, it's like it.
You can't sell a "this is what a feminist looks like" t-shirt to a freaking politician in London if the women in Mauritius in the sweatshop are making more than 18 cents a day.
Let's
get the context though.
Can we just get back to the video? Okay. So they're bringing up this. It's very unprofessional, by the way. I would never have allowed this, but they're dragging a window in front of the screen of a stream that from Tim Pool's Timcast podcast, where Fresh and Fit and Tim Pool are talking about the dating market. Okay, so.
Oh, do we know who's on here? It's
Fresh and Fit and Jason Howerton, who are apparently
YouTubers Fresh and Fit and Jason Howard.
Okay, cool.
So he doesn't even know who they are. So nice, Sam. Nice homework you did there.
All different levels on our podcast. And what I've come to realize is the abundance of options that modern day women have is absolutely influenced how they view the opposite gender. Most women, unfortunately, do not respect most men. Most women think most men are below them. They will not date most men. They think most men are invisible, and they think most men are inferior to them when it comes to, I want a top tier guy. Because when I ask girls, what do you want in a man? And we actually ask them, they always describe a guy in the top 2 to 3%.
I would say that's...
Yes!
Okay, pausing it there.
What's objectionable about that?
Yes, it's true.
Yeah,
it's all true. It's all true.
It's not even like this is just true. Period. Like there's it's like saying this man has gone out and said, "Oh, wow, I believe that we exist on a planet with atmosphere." And then Sam Seder's like, "What the? Why do you hate women? What the?"
Well, let's see what their response is. But I think Tim's gonna say a little something, and then they're gonna respond. I believe so.
I'm waiting.
Maybe it's too bold to say statistically proven, but I would say we have seen tons of data showing exactly what you said is most likely to be the case. I think it was Tinder or OkCupid's data showing that the average man has a natural bell curve for female attraction and value. And the average female has a super warped curve that they
Pause
only
it for 1
look
second.
at.
All right.
I'm just pausing it there for the banana. I don't know how this works when you're responding to a video that's responding to another video, so I want to be careful we don't get dinged by Tim Pool or by Majority Report. But
I want to point something out. I think Sam Seder is going to say whatever is required to keep him in his reproductive niche, on top of his reproductive niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now.
He is divorced, so obviously he knows how women work, because he made that work.
The only consolation is that I don't think he's actually going to reproduce, because I don't think he wants kids.
Yeah, well, no shit. No wonder, like, he's probably somebody you shouldn't listen to.
Yeah, he wants
Contributing
sex.
to the... Who are you talking about? Fresh and Fit or Sam Seder?
No, Sam Seder. I
Yeah.
don't think he... does he have kids already?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he does. I
But
think he has
I just want
one.
to point something out. Okay, there's a hierarchy here. A hierarchy of men. You have the men on the top. You have the men competing to be on the top, and this entire pyramid. It was really bizarre because a while back I got into this discussion, and this feminist was saying, well, men are victims of the patriarchy only caring about the top 1% of men. I'm like, are you talking about the patriarchy or what Tinder women want? Like,
Okay,
seriously.
yeah,
But my point is that there is the top, increasingly small. I don't even know if it's 5% anymore, but the top percentage of men who are on the reproductive pyramid and at the very top. So essentially, they are the most desirable to women.
They could have a harem, yeah.
There are all of the men who are aspiring to be on the top and keeping their mouths shut about the situation.
No,
And they're still trying to get to the top. And then there are the men who've stepped out of the rat race for women's affection and are saying, look at this is dumb. And those men are on the very bottom of reproductive value.
Sure. But look at, okay, set this guy who's on the screen right now.
Yes.
Set him side by side with Sam Seder. Who would you rather fuck?
I think everybody knows the answer to that. However, we're talking about like the average man. If the average man complains about this situation,
but Sam Seder is going to argue that this guy is the patriarchy.
Well, yes, because he doesn't want to recognize that this guy's on top of him because of women's choices. He does not.
This guy isn't just on top of him because of women's choices. This guy is the one who's calling out women's choices.
Yeah, and I would say that if you're in a position where you're on top of the hierarchy, you might be in a position to call out their choices without being hit with a penalty. But I'm saying for most men, they won't, because it's worse to be a loser. It's worse to complain about having lost. And it requires a complete paradigm shift for men to say, you know what? These standards that women are holding us to are total bullshit. And I'm not going to take an identity from becoming part of this standard. And it's happened in the past.
And like with Fresh and Fit or with Andrew Tate or with whoever, right? They're saying, well, yeah, I will live up to those standards and I will play the game and I will win at it, but I will say that the game is rigged, that women are the dirty referees here, right? And that the average guy is being cheated out of a fair shot, right? And I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to give away the game. These are someone like Fresh and Fit, someone like Andrew Tate, someone like, these guys who were like highly attractive, extremely attractive. They're successful, right? All of that stuff. What they're doing is it's a very Trumpian way to go about it. I know how the game is played because I played it and I won it. Right? And now I'm going to show it for what it is. Right? It's dirty. It's dirty. It's disgusting. It's ugly.
I'm going to tell you how disgusting.
It's awful.
I'm going to tell you how disgusting it is.
Yeah.
When Jordan Peterson says something like women have the right to demand whatever they want, if men tomorrow actually had the financial wherewithal to meet women's expectations, if they did, we would need another 2 Earths to accommodate the purchases those women would make. We literally cannot afford men to live up to women's expectations. Think about it. We cannot afford for men to live up to women's expectations, because if they did, we would be facing an utter ecological catastrophe. We just don't have enough
Well,
Earth.
you want to know why? There are 5-year-old kids in their bare feet mining cobalt, rinsing off the cobalt in frickin' dirty, filthy water in the Congo. It's because women want new shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They want an easier life. They want something that's
And
more climate controlled, more convenient, more comfortable.
You know, it's funny because I hear that and I see that, and I wonder why. In many ways, I feel like I'm not complete exception, because I do have to fight some of my own bullshit when it comes to this. And I've had to realize that I'm average. I'm not going to get a guy who's Mr. Big, Christian Grey, whatever. And why would I want that in the first place? It's much better to have a companion who gets you and has your back. But the thing is that I don't know why it is that all of this consumer stuff just sort of, I'm not interested in it.
No, I never have been either, and it's like,
well, I mean, if you have your board in your basement of all of your sales, I think that you're motivated by something else. It's to destroy the well-being of grocers in your area. Like you are the hunter of grocers.
Survival. It was survival.
You are the natural predator of the grocer.
Okay. I literally had my ex's ex-wife on the phone with me. Okay, I'm just freshly pregnant with my next child. Okay, I'm still breastfeeding my first child because they were only born 15 months apart. I had her on the phone saying, I'm going to need you to forward the child support. And I was like, but we have both your boys all summer and we have to feed them. And she says, well, that's not going to pay for their daycare. And I said, but you work from home. You do books for a dentist from home. Why do you need them in daycare? I have to. And why over the summer when they're here with us? She says, well, I have to pay the full cost to keep their spots open, and I need to have my days to myself when I'm working. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me to rip my baby off the breast and like toss him in a fucking ditch of a daycare, exposed to every fucking bug and abuse that happens in daycares, right? Just like rip him away from me. And while I'm
for
pregnant,
your household,
she was like, maybe it's time for you to think about getting a job. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? You're fucking kidding. You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, but there are other stories just like that.
And she had just spent $136,000 taking her $300,000 house that her new husband had bought for her. She had a crawl space, not a full basement. So she wanted it raised.
Good Lord.
$136,000 fucking dollars. Yeah. And I'm being supported by a short order cook. By a fucking fry cook. And making it work, paying the child support, except it was late. It was late when we had to feed her boys. And she's like, well, maybe you need to just think about going back to work.
And the funny thing is that feminism will acknowledge none of this behavior of women towards women. Just like that one woman she won the lottery. She got a husband that allowed her to stay at home. And then she insists that it's because he's got male privilege. So she's living off the filthy proceeds of male privilege according to her own ideology. But she doesn't have to take responsibility for it. Because honestly, in feminism, women apparently don't have to take any kind of responsibility for how they treat other women. I mean, let's just set aside men. Men is the given. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
But they don't even give a fuck about how women treat other women.
Yeah. No, it was like that was a massive wake up call. And then the next wake up call was when she cashed. We sent, because everybody did things by checks back then, right? And we sent her a bunch of post-dated checks, right? Dated for the child support payments for a full year. And she cashed them all.
At once.
All at once. Okay? All at once. And I woke up. I told my parents, because my grandparents had bought me some stocks in Vetcor entity equities, right? Had bought me these stocks when I was like a little kid. And, they were merging with another company, and you had the choice. You could cash out your equity, or you could carry it forward. And I was like, well, let's cash out the equity. And it was like $3,000, maybe $3,500. And I was like, okay, and put it in the bank. And she just happened to cash all those checks and
It was gone.
fuck off with all that money.
God damn.
All right,
That
and-
is one hell of a story. Okay, let's continue
play
with
some more. So, yeah. I got some super chows. I'll read.
and
through
we
them
I,
really quick.
I probably should do some thank yous
Yeah,
actually
let's do
since
some
it's at
thank
the
yous.
hour.
I'll do the super chows
We-
first, then you do the thank yous, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right. So, I got a super chow from Zeranx for $5. Thank you. And he says, if Sam is divorced, that's a surprise to me. The last time I watched his show, he had 2 kids, boy and a girl, and was married. Yes, he was divorced in 2017. The chat figured all that out, and he does have 2 kids, and I pity them. I especially pity his son. Novafan gives us $20 and says, thank you for being a real voice for men. It's sad so many people will pretend to care about men only to use them for their cause while still treating men as expendable. Yes, that is true, because men to a lot of these people are just a resource. Dating Site Surveys gives us $5 and says, I am reminded of a dating site experiment where women were asked to rate the attractiveness of a random set of men. The most attractive men, for example, the top 20%, were collected into another set and then presented to another set of women. The second set of women rated the top 20% of that 20% as attractive, rating the bottom 20% of the top 20% as unattractive. Women rate attractiveness relatively, yes. And we're gonna get into that. That's in this video. So don't speak on the dating site survey stuff because they're gonna talk about that.
The OK Cupid.
That's gonna
Yeah,
come up.
no, it's just women are basically like, what are my options that I can see with my eyes? And then they're like, and all of those, even if they're like top tier, yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the top 20.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
And everybody else is below average, even though that's mathematically impossible. Like nobody ever claimed feminists were good at math.
You're right.
So, yeah.
But, let's play some more of this. JoJo's finished with his treat.
Wait, I have to do the thank yous.
Water. Yeah, do the thank yous while I go get.
Okay, this may take a little bit of
clean up
time.
after the dog. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you to Zach for 25. Thank you, Zach. Thank you to. Okay, fewer deados because we gotta get through this.
I don't even know that.
That's
what
from
that is.
JoJo's. It's a guy rolling a cherry in his mouth in a very bizarre and also slightly suggestive manner. Okay, $100 from Tominator. Thank you, Tominator. Did you have anything for that, Brian? Hello? Are you okay, Brian?
No, Brian is getting his dog some water.
Oh, right. Okay. I guess that little is for everybody. So thank you, Tominator. Mech. I will just say Mech. That's the first MEK is the first bits of your email. Gives us $50. Thank you, Mech. At the Sleepy Aussie again gives us $100. So thank you, Sleepy Aussie. Well, not again. Sorry, I'm just saying it again. So thank you again. Math Freak 123 plus HBR. Hopefully not your legal names. Gives us $5. Thank you, Math Freak. Sir Biggles gives us $25. Jeez, I hope he isn't a real Sir Biggles, and he's like, oh my god, she just doxed me. Turin 88 gives us $250. Thank you, Turin. And Geek gives us $250. Thank you, Turin. Maybe I should wait. I should re-announce that when Brian gets back. And
I'm back. I heard that. I'll just play a short one for you guys.
Erotic. Erotic.
That's for Turn.
No. If the next time you get like a big one and Brian's not here to like, I can try a verse of Katy Perry's Firework.
Is that supposed to be a reward?
In a sense.
Okay. All right. So I just want to remind everyone that we are doing our monthly fundraiser. We do still have a ways to go. I believe we're now at 1,085. So we have gotten pretty far, but we still have another couple laps to do around the financial turnpike or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
Track.
So if you are interested in helping us out, now is the time. Only 1 day left. 1 day. So get it in there. Get it in there now. Feedthebadger.com/support. I will do some arm twisting at the half hour if nobody else has gone through. Just take the time to put it into your bar and consider helping us out, because it's very much appreciated, and we would not exist without you. So if you wake up one day and we don't exist, you have only yourselves to blame.
Okay. Let's play some more.
There's a couple of things here. A lot of people are on Tinder, but this only gives you the average user of Tinder.
Yeah.
Okay, Cupid.
So dumb.
What?
It was okay.
Okay, Cupid.
It was
not
okay,
Tinder.
Cupid, and okay,
Well,
Cupid.
Tinder's probably worse.
I don't think Tim Pool specified a specific dating app, but I think
no. But he said okay, Cupid or Tinder or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Cupid is the one that had those results.
The 80-20 thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd imagine Tinder's even worse.
But okay, Cupid is like, I met my husband, my current husband, who I've been with for since 2010. I met him on OkCupid, and the reason I was on OkCupid is because it's not just a hookup site; it's a site to.
Well, also, Plenty of Fish was the same thing. Like they all come out about the same way in terms of the.
Yeah. But it's not just about hookups. It's about relationships, and it's about like all of those things, and so it's like I'm looking at it. I was looking at the data from OkCupid because they were the ones that really crunched and publicized their data. Mm-hmm. You know, that women on their site found 80% of the men on the site below average. Below average.
Well, Sam Seder is telling us that women on Tinder or OkCupid or Plenty of Fish or Match or whatever are not women. Essentially, he's saying that this data is stupid because
it's not representative. Yeah.
It's not all women. It's only the women on dating sites. Mm-hmm. Let's play some more.
Dumb. I just want people to understand, every single assumption that they are making and taking as the grounding, even if he says it may be too strong a word to say that this is data. No, it's worse than that. everything you think of like data, like a Tinder.
Here's
Like,
some more data. Tinder is 75% male. So maybe a supply and demand reason for why the women are a little bit more selective on a dating app where they have that much more choice.
What?
Maybe it's mostly men because
If-
men are having
if
a hard
you're
time
on-
meeting women.
If you're on Tinder as a woman, you're desperate.
Yeah. Exactly. And
Because
they're
you
still
can't-
being picky.
Okay, I was 40 years old. I could go into any bar, whisper a little dirt into like 5 random assholes' ears, and go home with someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Now,
the
maybe
women on
not
dating
now,
sites
but
are in a situation where they can't meet regular men in real life, so they are reduced to dating sites, and even on dating sites, they are being really, really picky.
Okay, what?
Yeah, no,
I
like,
just want to take a moment. This guy is so smug. It's like I nailed that kind of
Well,
smug.
he's basically
No,
saying
he's
you guys are
racial
dumb.
metaphor.
Bryn.
I got. That was full swish. That was no rim smug. He looks like he's just finished doing what. And you know what it was? It's how do I make this women out to be victims of this?
he's literally acting like Rachel Maddow after she raped a baby in public and then got away with it. That's what he looks like.
He actually raped a baby, or is that
No.
hyperbole? Okay.
Rachel Maddow didn't
No, but
either.
he's been presented with a problem, and he has to use nuance to figure out how to take the input and put out the only output that's allowed, which is women have
Okay.
divorce. Could you
Okay.
actually repeat what he said? Because I toddled off to the bathroom. What did he say? You don't have to. You don't have to go through it again.
He said basically, this is not data. It's worse than not data, because Tim Pool, he says, I'm not saying that this is necessarily hard data about this, but here is what people have found that use dating sites. And he's saying that even with the caveat, it doesn't protect you from how stupid a statement that is. Essentially, Tim Pool, you're not allowed to have opinions on this at all.
Okay,
Then
but
why are most men not getting into relationships then, Cedar? Is it not because women don't want them?
Because they're misogynist, Allison, and they want to treat women like chattel again and take away their credit cards.
but the thing is, right? Okay, he has to say this. He has to say it. I just witnessed something. I forget whether it was earlier today or maybe yesterday. Right, Joy Reid. Right, she's like, "Ooh, black voters are increasingly supporting Trump." Okay, and I'm only using this as an example. It's not because I'm trying to push Trump, although I am, but it's not because. But okay, so Joy Reid, she says, and these Republicans, it's become the new Republican talking point that blacks are increasingly supporting Trump because they align themselves and they affiliate and feel affinity with criminals, right? Because the Republicans think blacks are thugs. No. What the Republicans think is that black men who have overwhelmingly, and you and I and like you guys and I have both looked at the stats and found that innocent men wrongly accused and maliciously prosecuted are overwhelmingly male, like innocent people are overwhelmingly male, and that black men are overrepresented in that category. Men of color, overrepresented, right? And black voters are basically seeing an innocent man being crushed by a criminal justice system that is out to get him no matter what, whether he's guilty or innocent, doesn't matter. Okay. And so now they're starting to, but she can't tell her listeners, her viewers that. She can't tell them it's because they believe Trump is innocent. So she turns the whole freaking phenomenon of Republicans noticing that blacks are increasingly supporting Trump into a false accusation against Republicans of racism on the basis that they think that black people will support any criminal, any thug life. You know, like there's a difference
it's
between supporting a badass and supporting a criminal, right? You want a badass in your corner. You don't want a criminal in your corner, right? And blacks are increasingly waking up to the fact that Trump is being unjustly persecuted here, maliciously prosecuted, right? And they're like, well, I know what that's fucking like, right? So now I'm going to vote for him. And Republicans see that, and she can't actually acknowledge that there's even the possibility that Trump isn't a bad guy.
Yeah,
He's
it's
not
because
a criminal.
they have a nuance machine that always goes to the one conclusion. In this case, the one conclusion is that women are somehow. Oh, well, actually, so the conclusion here was that the data is wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
the data can't be right because it's not all women. You know, sometimes we get an anecdote from a woman, and that's 100% true facts. And then sometimes you get data that doesn't agree with you that is a lot of women, but not all women. Therefore,
but there's also. I gotcha.
Go ahead.
There's also a study that shows that women, based on women's behavior, they would all be married if men made twice as much as they do now.
Oh, there's studies that have suggested that if all the fucking artificial subsidies and supports and, you know, if the government divorced women, 85% of women would be married. And they would have children and have a traditional arrangement.
Okay, and here's another thing, that we're not the first civilization that tried this out. This idea of harems has been tried. It's basically, we get to a point, we get very productive. The people who control the movement of material get the ones in the points of power controlling the movement of material get to the point where they control so much that they can just give women stuff directly.
Yep.
Right. And women don't have to pair bond. They can just go and live in a what is essentially a government harem, and then they do, and then the whole system implodes. This is like, you know, this is not misogyny. This is just looking at history and seeing.
It's just the fall of the Roman Empire.
Well, the Roman Empire didn't fall; it moved east. But I'm talking about the fall of the Bronze Age, because Romans actually, and probably one of the reasons why they managed to sustain some kind of society, is they did not like harems, and they never particularly seemed to be fond of female victimhood. So while they went through this process where the average man could no longer have an income sufficient to sustain a family, and that's where a lot of their politics that ended up with the destruction of the Republic came from. They didn't actually fall as such. They switched to an authoritarian top-down system, and then eventually they moved east and adopted a new relationship between the sexes in Christianity and revitalized their society and kept going. So you can do that. You can have like a lateral shift like the Roman Empire did, or you can just hit a fucking wall like the Bronze Age. And the reason, and I think the big difference is the Romans never fed women directly. They never created this relationship between an individual woman and the government. Whereas the Bronze Age Empire did.
The Roman Empire did tax bachelors. They did try to force men to marry women.
Well, they also
They-
did things like they gave women certain rights after having a certain amount of children, so they did try to incentivize that. But I think the real thing that corrected the problems with them forming relationships was their adoption of Christianity.
Yeah, but how's that working out?
Well, it's not working out like 2,000 years later, but like what can you say? The human spirit always finds new ways to fuck up.
We really do.
Get back to the
we really
video.
do.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking up,
let's do
back
more
to
of
the
this,
video.
okay.
It's just like it's the level of like so desperate to get to where they want to go. They're just not even going to do even the slightest bit of assessment of what their priors are. But go ahead.
All right, I'm just pausing there. So he's basically he's just trying to discredit the entire thing. 2 minutes in, and you notice that they start the video kind of in the middle of a sentence. So I feel like there's context there that's missing. Because remember, Timcast is like these are like 2 or 3 hour long shows. So if they're taking a little clip out and responding to it, then it most likely they're not really being fair to Tim. And I criticized Tim for a bunch of stuff, but I don't think that he is what they're trying to make him out to be.
He's too fancy.
He's he's just way too on the fence.
The average man has a natural bell curve for female attraction and value, and the average female has a super warped curve that they only look at men they would rate 8. Men that are on average rated 8 to 10 are deemed average, and for men the bell curve is normal. Like the average woman is average.
Can I ask about the methodology behind this rating system?
All right, I'm just pausing there. She's gonna again.
It's a
source?
survey.
Well, yeah.
Survey of users of dating sites. So
They're
unless
just looking at what those people are swiping on.
Unless you're gonna argue that all of the women on OkCupid and Match.com and Tinder,
Plenty of Fish,
are like, and Plenty of Fish are Charlize Theron in her prime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Unless you're gonna argue that, no. Those women, right? Those women don't need to go on dating sites. Do you think fucking the Kardashians need to go on dating websites? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
These are average women. Average and sub-average women looking for love.
Yep. Or not.
Right,
they're looking for a hookup.
Let's keep going.
But they're looking for something they can't get in real life.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Is this about just attractiveness?
This is some
this also
survey
about,
they did on Tinder.
It's also about jobs? Is it about earnings? Is it about height?
about
Is it
attractiveness,
about
bitch.
race?
Oh,
Look,
okay.
like,
Sorry,
the-
I shouldn't have said that.
What? Oh,
I called
I'll
her a
play some
bitch.
more.
That was
What
unfair.
about?
Yeah, exactly. Like that. This is just like a male, female, and like appearance thing. Like, I mean, there are elements of social or dating that I think probably aren't very helpful. I don't think that it is exclusively disadvantageous to men. So I think that's where I depart from Tim here.
He says he doesn't think that it's specifically disadvantageous to men to be on dating sites.
Exclusively disadvantageous.
Exclusively, yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah.
arguing that.
No,
Yeah.
if you're a 400-pound fucking ham planet, you're probably not going to get very many dates.
Karen, even Gorlock the Destroyer gets dates. Like, there is a man that will smash somewhere. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, with an
men's
epithet
standards
like
are
that,
so
the
low.
Destroyer.
Huh?
Well, with
Gorlock the Destroyer.
with an epithet of the Destroyer, I mean, there's some cachet in that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but like
With a certain class of men.
There is.
Yeah, no, like, but okay, so there are men out there, I'm sure, who, just like there are women who will fuck midgets,
Yes.
right? Just
Sure.
not because they're talented or like really clever or they have hidden depths or something like that, but just because.
Mm-hmm.
Because they like them.
Nugget porn is a thing, okay? And people watch it, okay?
Wow,
So,
I did not know that phraseology.
What? Nugget porn?
I learn new things every day on this show.
No, like people with no arms and legs having sex in front of the camera.
God.
Man, that's so much worse than I originally thought. Thank you. Please continue.
We have strayed so far away from God.
Okay, there are people. There are people who will fuck.
Pretty sure Hieronymus Bosch did a painting of that. But let's keep going.
But what
Karen,
I'm
we're
saying-
going. Shh.
No,
Shh.
oh my God.
Because the OkCupid statistic stuff has been debunked for years at this point. Well, of course, it is a self-selecting group of people that want to be on a dating app.
No, the only self-selecting group about it
is
that they want
average women
partnership.
It's women who are below average in overall attractiveness. These are women who are like in their mid-30s. They got baby rabies. They're like freaking not doing so well.
At this
they
point,
can't meet guys in real life. All of those things, right? So it's self-selecting for the people who should be least choosy.
Okay, maybe it's self-selecting for that. More likely at this point, it's just a cross-section of women who are interested in a relationship. So we're not including the women who are not interested in a relationship, Sam. We are only including the women who are interested in a relationship in our survey on women who are interested in a relationship and what they want from men appearance-wise. Yes, that's self-selecting.
Not just
when we look at penguins, we do not look at parrots. And that is a selected it's who we're actually looking at, women who want relationships.
It's not just looks.
Well, in this case, it is just looks like this.
Okay.
No, I don't know about that because you can show your status in a photograph too. As a man, you should take a picture in front of your car or wearing nice clothes or flashing jewelry. Or even just
surrounded by beautiful women.
Or surrounded by other women. Yeah, exactly. So there, men that are gonna be good at dating apps, I guess. If you're gonna hack it, you can't just take a picture of your face. You have to show that you have status, because that's what women are looking for. It's not really about the square jaw.
In this case, I think this was just face.
Oh,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, but it wasn't just. It was. There was the OkCupid survey was just about the face. What they found, right? Or the surveys that they did. Okay. What they found was that overall, right, in terms of profiles, in terms of the entire profile, height, weight, interests, income, all of those things, right? And your picture, right? That 80% of men were considered below average by women. Okay, and then you look at the profile pictures that get click-throughs, right? Get people to actually click on your profile when they're suggested to you. And they found that when it was women, women's profile pictures, chin down, looking up, displaying your high forehead, right, and your little pointy chin, okay, and looking coy, but staring directly into the camera. That was the perfect profile picture.
It also makes you look thinner if you are taking a picture like that.
Yes, and it's the perfect profile picture for a woman to get someone to click on her profile. For men, it was, and she had to be sort of smiling. She didn't have to be full smiling. She just had to be a little half smile, She had to look, friendly and interested in you, the camera, right? For men, no smile, looking away from the camera.
Yeah.
And with intensity, as if you're looking at something interesting going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
let's play
yeah,
some
no,
more.
like this is, but that's showing a man who has status. He has
Yep.
more important things to do with his attention
Okay,
than
so
look
what we
into the camera at you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we've discovered is there may be some confounds. It needs to be a better study, but here's the thing. This study is until it gets superseded by additional research, this is what we have to work with in terms of women's attractiveness, or what women are attracted to. These individuals are making a fallacy. If we only have anecdotes, then that is the best evidence available to us. So we work with anecdotes.
Yeah.
If we only have this survey, which is an informal survey of users of dating sites, then that's what we have. Okay?
Yep.
And
No,
that's what we
we
have to
have-
make assumptions on and do further research based on.
We have more than that.
Oh yes, we do. But they're saying that we can be dismissed. Well, then we look at that, and that stuff also pretty much says the same stuff.
Yes.
All right, can we keep going?
All right. Yeah. No. Let's get, because it's gonna get good in a little while.
With
Okay.
based upon pictures of people
Yes.
and like other sort of signifiers. I mean, it's it's interesting if you're doing a dating app show.
Yeah. Or if you're trying to compete with
but-
Tinder and come up with your own
but
options.
wait to where this goes.
Yes.
Right.
This is the point.
Yes. Yeah,
is that all of this talk would be absolutely, aside from the fact that I'm staring at like the sword, the pistol.
Why are women digging this?
I love how these people are laughing at what's going to destroy their fucking comfort going forward.
Yeah.
Like the not attending to these issues is going to destroy what you enjoy, and it's like they're looking at the destroyer and they're just laughing at it. They think if they laugh at it, it means it's not going to be a problem. That's like it's just going to disappear. But okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
I wonder if the talk shows in during the Bronze Age had people like this laughing. Our environment, our agricultural yields, all of those young men, they aren't working the field anymore. They're going and investing in boats. That's just fucking funny. Look at them with their oars and they're making arrows. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Yes, here and my two weapons.
Sorry, I made a Bronze
Grown
Age
man.
reference.
Yeah, that's a deep cut, Allison.
Continue.
Would rate.
So they were making fun of Tim Pool's background. I just wanted to point that out because he's got like an electric guitar and a sword and like a musket on his wall. And this, by the way, when you see that, is where I'm bringing this up. Sam Seder is competing with Tim Pool right now. He's basically saying, these people are children. Look at the toys he's got on his wall. Like, ladies, no wonder you're not attracted to guys like this. This is just him playing the alpha. That's his way of doing it. It's very weaselly. It's very sneaky. But that's what's going on. And I just want to point out, also, Sam Seder is a coward. And he doesn't he doesn't want to appear on other people's shows unless he's in the driver's seat and they have more clout than he does, so that he can basically suck followers off of their.
I should
Steven Crowder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
why he
and-
snuck on Steven Crowder's show. But also, there's a guy, an MRA named Blue Orange 22, who went on. Remember, we responded to the video where he went on Sam Seder's show, and he asked Sam Seder. He said, "Well, you can come on my channel anytime and we'll talk." And Sam Seder said, "Yeah, sure," but he never did. He never called him. He never contacted him. And he told me about it, and I said, "Well, of course he's not going to go on your channel because your channel's tiny. He won't go on anything that's less than 1 million subscribers because he wants to grow his own channel. He's a grifter. Like, this is literally what grifters do. And that's why. So yeah, he's a coward. He's a pussy, and he won't basically have his ideas challenged, and he'll make fun of people like Tim Pool, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw, but Tim Pool, in the screenshot that they put up there, he was getting shit tons of super chats. So he gets a lot more engagement. He makes a lot of money. And they're just hating. They're just jealous. So there you go. Well, okay, Allison, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I just wanted to say my reference was to the C people who were apparently a big part of the. Well, actually, I don't think they were a big part. I think what really happened is that they were just basically the Bronze Age citizens who were tired of starving and having their harvest stolen by the central planners. It just decided, that bigotry was a better way to go forward. And like I said, I could just imagine some Bronze Age priests with their stupid headdresses laughing, oh ho 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 ho, look at them leaving the fields, ha ha, they're gonna starve. And I don't know, it just struck me. I'll try to avoid making like references to deep history. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, I got another super chow, so I should probably just go ahead and knock that out. But let me do that
after
first.
you do that.
Yeah.
After you do that, I probably should do another call.
Okay. All right. So I got a super chow from Zeranx for $5, and he says, "This is why I don't like the toe dippers commenting on this stuff. They don't know much of who has been looking at what, to what extent, and how they came to talk about the things they discussed. Alexander Grace had a female friend use his pictures to try and get him matches on Tinder. The idea, if I'm not mistaken, is testing if women knew how to talk to women in dating apps. He discusses the psychology with dating. Sidechax does the same thing. F&F had him on as his fresh and fit, but I haven't watched that video yet. Rollo, Paul Elam, and which Matt Binder debated. You guys, Kevin Samuels, Tommy Sotomayor being more man on the street, and how many MGTOW creators comparing their experiences with men in the comments doing the same. Sam is like the toe dippers, unaware of what's actually going on. Even the guy Jason debating what Fresh and Fit are saying has no clue what Myron is driving at with what he says." I'll just add that I don't think it's not about Sam Seder like not knowing what he's talking about. I think Sam Seder is intentionally being deceptive. I mean, the information is out there if you want it. He's on the internet all the time. He's basically gatekeeping the status quo, which is the feminist narrative about reality. That's it. They will use rhetoric and twist data until there's nothing left, as long as they maintain the primary narrative. I don't think he's just misinformed. Go ahead, Allison.
Societies run on sacrificing men, as far as I can tell from history. And directing the sacrifice of men, which is compelled in many cases because of the capture of men's reproductive instincts, etc. We all are in many ways invested in ignoring, minimizing, and mocking the recognition of that sacrifice. Because if we were to recognize it as wrong, we would have to do some deep thinking about how we've structured our society. And so feminists, insofar as they're really loopy, they are actually providing a service for the rest of our culture. And that service is to ignore and minimize the pain of men so we don't have to care. And we can point the finger at them, but the truth is that they exist and they gain power because they're doing something people want. And what people want is they want an excuse not to care. And to make men's problems not something that they have to deal with. And that's why I say that the behavior has to be called out. And yes, I call out feminists because right now they function as the biggest shield to questioning the behavior. But ultimately, it is the behavior that we're going to have to look at. And if we do not look at it, we're going to lose what we've built. We're going to lose everything that men sacrifice for.
Well, and if we lose it now, it's gone for good.
It's gone for good. So with that cheery note, once again, please go to feedthebadger.com/support so that we can keep the eye on the goal, keep our eye on the prize, which is recognition of men's issues, recognition of women's agency and their control over society and what they need to do to build a society that's maybe not better, but at least functions. So feedthebadger.com/support. We really do need you to give that support, and we are running out of time. So now is the time to do it, right now. No excuses. Get your browsers open, put in that URL, feedthebadger.com, and put in whatever you can. Every bit helps, bit gets us to the goal, and every bit is needed 100%. We need your help to keep this message alive. It's not one that people want to hear, but it's what they need to hear. We cannot leave these problems unaddressed. We cannot ignore them, and if we do, it will be what undermines it. It will be the face of our destroyer. So feedthebadger.com/support. Take a load off of me and Brian. It would be very appreciated. All right, so I think that's good. I might have to do a bit stronger arm twisting going forward, because it seems like we've stalled out a bit. So, yeah, please help. feedthebadger.com/support. All right, let's go, Brian.
Let's keep going. All right, here we go.
This is gonna get... Men that are on average rated 8 to 10 are deemed average, and for men the bell curve is normal. Like the average woman is average. Yeah. The ugly woman is ugly. The beautiful woman is beautiful. For women, almost all guys, 80% of men, they deem unworthy or unattractive.
So
but I don't know if the solution to this then is to say engage in it. Perhaps the solution is
pause it. So in other words, I think.
All right, I'm pausing there for the banana. Let's hear Sam's response.
What he's saying with those statistics, he was just sort of like talking about them, is that women reject more men on these apps than men reject women.
Because there's more men on the apps.
That could be part of it. It could also be that, like,
women are bitches.
That could be part of it.
Feminism.
But it could also be just like,
why are you even there?
Well, I mean, that could be true. I mean, they could be bitches, sure. And yeah, there are more men on those sites. Nobody's asking why. I mean, the population isn't 75% men, 25% women, yet dating apps are 75% men. So what does that say? But anyway, okay, Emma.
It may be a little bit scarier for women to sort of just look at a picture of a dude and go like, yeah, I'm going to go meet that guy.
In the city, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go meet that guy at a, it's
what
somewhere
the hell
down
are
the road.
you even talking about? That's just reading into it?
But men are rapists, Allison. So women should be afraid of them, and that's why they're being picky, because they're afraid of men, because rape culture and men bad. That's
so
what he's saying.
Ugly men are more likely to rape? I don't think that's been proven.
I don't think that's... No, he's saying men, regardless of the quality, are dangerous to women. Women fear men. Therefore, women are they're more selective on dating apps. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I get it. So if they're going to make a risk, then it's going to be for the very, very hottest men. Okay.
Well, if you're going to be raped and saddled with a child...
Might as well have good genetics.
A rape baby, you might as well have a good-looking rape baby, right?
Yeah, right. Anyway, so that's what he's saying.
That's actually the evolutionary psychology argument for that.
Mm.
If you're going to have a rape baby, right, you might as well have a good-looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm going to be quite honest. Rape is not that prevalent among humans.
No, of course not. Of course not. It's
actually pretty freaking rare, and that speaks to the fact that rapists are twice.
Yeah, but women are way more scared of being raped than men,
and yet they do
for obvious evolutionary reasons. Okay. Because the biological costs that have burdened women with the rape babies all the way up to the second half of the 20th century, right? Were all borne by women. All those burdens of rape babies were borne by women. Okay? Well, the man, he may have had his head cut off or been hung or whatever, but okay.
And did the rape actually happen is a question too.
Sure. Okay, but it's only been in the last. You can't say that 70 years of long-term reliable birth control and 60 years of abortion on demand for rape babies, and all of these recent innovations and child support for men who were raped, right? You can't say that.
Well, honestly,
that's gonna change the evolutionary psychology behind the calculation.
Okay, yes, but let's look at Well, you know what? Let's look at previous. There's been child support since the 1500s, and
Yes,
that's
and
instituted by the church.
there's been women have had to marry their rapists. No, that's never what the Bible said. The Bible said that if you catch two fucking teenagers in the hayloft, they have to get married. If the dad of the woman, of the young woman, insists on it, and the guy has to marry her, and he can never divorce her, and he has to support her and the kid for the rest of his life. Right?
Okay, and here's the other
what
thing.
it was. And okay, but he still managed to have one child, right? At least one, maybe more. And so it was never. It's never. And the rapist who raped some woman, and she had his baby, right? Well, he got one freaking shot at the brass ring, and she lost one of her many shots at the brass ring, right? So it's like you have to look at the cost benefit analysis in terms of how that would have guided our psychological responses.
Yeah, but you also have to consider
violation.
Okay, you also have to consider the fact that humans don't just breed in pairs; they breed in extended social groups. And the response of that extended social group to a foreign male, monopolizing a reproductive potential, and it usually is extremely violent, aggressive. So, I mean, yes, men could make that, and probably even more so if it was a genuine rape. So men could roll that dice, but at the end of the day, there's also a huge, a lot of human society will, throughout history, murder a man for doing such a thing.
Yes, certainly. But if you're Genghis Khan, you got away with over 1,000 freaking squirts.
Yeah, but Genghis Khan, was he really raping? Honestly, think about...
I know he wasn't raping. Those women were throwing themselves at him. Or at least half of them were. But what I'm saying is, when you look at what caused us to be who we are, right? You have women who are irrationally terrified, right? At least in terms of modern society.
Yeah, but they're more terrified now than they were before the pill.
Yeah, well, why? Why? Because number one, they've never suffered hardship, not real hardship. Okay? They've never actually faced an existential threat. 99% of women, right? The worst thing they have to worry about is breast cancer. Okay? They don't have to worry about being beaten to death. They don't have to worry about their husband being murdered and them being raped in front of his dead body. They don't have to worry about their children being slaughtered in front of them. They don't have to worry about any of that shit. Okay? They don't have to worry about some fucking saber-toothed tiger, coming into the cave and stealing some dingo eating their baby, right? They don't gotta worry about any of that. Okay? The only thing they gotta worry about is their golden fucking poon. Okay? And their golden fucking poon, right? They're just like, well, I'm just not ready for a baby right now, but maybe I am if the government will pay me to have one. Right? It's stupid. It's fucking retarded. They don't have to worry about shit. Brian, I will not be lectured by you.
That's not me. That's Captain America. All right, let's.
But what I'm saying is.
I hear Brian's desperation, and I probably should.
No,
I know what you're saying. Okay.
No, you don't.
Put it down to a sentence. One sentence. One
sentence. The less you exercise your amygdala, the weaker it gets.
Okay, this woman has a weak amygdala. I'll go with that. Let's do some more.
All right, let's do some more because this is where it gets kind of good, and I want you all to see it. So, let's play the thing.
Be like, I need like you know.
And what I will say with my experience on these dating apps, there were a lot of times where I would say maybe a man like appears to be attractive, but would send me a message that was disgusting. I would not have rated them in the 8 to 10 range, and maybe gone lower.
The weakness of the amygdala is showing.
Yeah, what did he say? What did he say? Nice gams? Was he looking at... Did you send a picture with your tits out, and then he commented on it? Is that his fault? You know what, guys? Stay away from Emma Vigland. Stay away from her. This is a cancerous woman.
Weak amygdala. Would you agree, Karen?
Well, I would say that anyone who's scared... Okay. I won't say that any woman who's uneasy, okay, or cautious about meeting a man online, because I did a lot of online dating after I divorced, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that, okay, well, you tell your friends that you're going on a date, that you've never met the guy before. You tell them where you're going, and you tell them that you'll text them and let them know that you're okay the next morning, right? Mm-hmm. So that if you end up in a freaking hockey bag cut up into pieces, okay, somebody's going to be looking for your body. Okay, you have to do this because I was a mother of 3 children. I had 3 freaking kids who were depending on me, and I can't just freaking go out and disappear and like just not show up back home and nobody knows that I'm gone, right? Like, it's not, no. So you basically, you take some precautions, but you don't go into it thinking, well, this guy could be a freaking axe murderer. No, you don't do that. No, you go into it thinking, well, this guy could be the man of my dreams. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He could be a dud. He could be somebody that I just don't get along with. I just don't have anything in common with. That happened, right? A couple of times I was just like, we don't really, our values don't mesh, right? Yeah. I mean, the one guy, he was a widower with a young daughter who was like 3, and he mostly worked in camp, and then he'd see her a week every month. She lived with his parents. And I was like, well, that sounds like a good arrangement. And but he was like, yeah, no, he's driving like the latest model, most expensive truck. And he was talking about how he spent all this money on, this, that, and the other thing. And I was just like, no, I don't need no expensive cars or trucks. I don't need that. I don't need somebody who's just gonna you make a really good living, right? And then you just shit it away every paycheck, right? I don't need a partner like that. So we just didn't have values that meshed, right? So it was one date and then it was done. And I'm looking at the whole thing, and it's like, I let my sister know. Yeah, I'm going on a date tonight. We're planning on going play pool, and at the pool hall, the one where you have to rent the table by the hour, and not the one where you have to buy it with like coins, right? And by the round, and but it was just like you take sensible, you act like a sensible human being.
Okay, I'm curious.
But
I'm curious. What
you don't go in scared that whoever you meet on a dating site is like some kind of freaking serial killer.
Well,
Okay,
serial
I
rapist.
wonder what this woman's anecdote. What conclusion is she going to draw from her anecdote that a good-looking man disgusted her?
Yeah.
Aside from a humble brag.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well,
let's find out.
I don't think. Well, let's just see what she says. I don't think she actually tells us what was disgusting. She just says it was, and we have to believe it.
Well, I
You
want to
won't hear
know
the
what
details.
is relevant between what she said. I mean, I'm not in any position really to complain, but what the hell is the relevance of this anecdote? Like, she's
let's
sitting
find
there
out.
and she's like, there's a purpose to her being there, and she said, "Oh, I got a message from an attractive man, but it was disgusting."
Right.
What is the point of this?
Okay.
Because of the context.
Just because he's not in your bell curve of acceptable.
Oh, no, and that's my favorite part too. Is the I know, like, the men are the rational ones. They fall along a natural bell curve pattern. I mean, the bell curve is natural in all instances. Let's be real, right? That's what Tim Pool. They kind of have that association. So,
What are you trying to do
the women
here?
are completely unnatural and honestly hysterical. The men follow along the natural
This is
pattern
what
of
you're saying.
attractiveness.
What?
This is what she's saying. She's
Yeah.
trying to make it out like she's doing the song, the mime, the he's a misogynist mime routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and what drives me crazy is okay, Mitch, if you had one bad experience with a dude on a dating site because he sent you a message you didn't like, all you need to do is preempt that shit. You just say, no dick pics. If I like you, I promise you, I will love your dick.
Right.
Okay, and
You don't need to show it to me.
and also if that's the worst, if that's what she's saying, that's the worst that happened to her.
Yeah.
She got an uncouth message from an attractive man.
We don't even know if it's uncouth. We just know she
Young
didn't
lady,
like it.
get out of the way. She needs to get to her fainting couch.
Mm-hmm. All
Okay.
right, let's keep going.
Along a strict grading scale, and the woman that just shoots up at the
Don't
end.
use
I mean,
the male
how,
voice. It sounds
honestly,
stupid.
how emotional do you have to be to go through that process?
And again,
Okay, thank you for misogynist mime has done her routine.
Mm-hmm.
She has mimed
Do you
the
have to be?
she has mimed the misogyny of Tim.
Well, she's shamed men for being emotional.
Yeah.
How emotional do you?
No, I think she's saying that Tim is saying women are emotional or something. That it's
But Tim never said that. He just said that
no. He just described.
Yeah, the curve. Like, women are pickier, and they it's like
pickier.
It's like Zarang said. You know, if you give women a normal grouping of men, and you say who they're most attractive, those women will pick the top 20% of those men. And then if you take that top 20% and you bring it to a different group of women, and you ask them to decide who the most attractive is, they will pick the top 20% of that top 20%.
Yeah,
And it would just be like an infinitely receding until it's just one dude.
Yeah.
So,
This woman, look at this individual woman.
mm-hmm.
Like, imagine her 30 years older. That's some scary shit.
Yeah.
She's not like that. Look at the expression on her face. It really ages her. That
I wonder why
expression
she's
of-
having trouble finding a date.
No, but look at it. Like, she looks like she just aged about 30
Oh yeah.
years.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, the pause button is unkind.
And well, it's not just unkind. It's the expression on her face.
Mm-hmm.
That expression of I got that kind of smug, contemptuous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've just socially ostracized someone by calling them a misogynist. Like, that kind of expression. It's one of the most ugly, hateful things that women do. Is that sheer joy they have when they unperson someone.
Yep.
It's really unpleasant to look at. And lady, it has aged you. Look at her right here. She looks like she's in her 50s. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would be like it wouldn't be worth our time if we didn't get to this part.
Do you see that? Do you
This
see now?
man
Now
is-
she's sort of evolved back into, maybe late 20s, early 30s. For a
Yeah.
moment there, that expression of contemptuous, like I'm dehumanizing somebody, and I'm enjoying the feeling of throwing someone out of the firelight. Out of the firelight of the tribe. I'm loving that feeling like they're gonna starve to death. They're going to drift off on the ice floe. They're going to be nothing. That feeling, just her enjoying that feeling, aged her 30 years in a second.
Yeah, give me a moment. Borat.
All right.
Retard.
Oh, we got to scream
My
at the dog now.
girlfriend Susan, 2 Chainz. Go
I think I might
lie
have a thank
down.
you.
What?
I think I might have a thank you, or we have another super chow, but I probably should do a call out.
What do you mean by a call out? Do your thank you, and I'll do the super chow.
Okay, so I'm thanking the same person who gave the super chow, because the super chow has come with some support. And I just wanted to remind everyone again, we are doing our monthly fundraiser. I know we were like, oh God, we don't need more reminders, but we do need you to take the time to go in, and even if it's just $5, please help out. I know every month you guys extend yourselves to make sure that we can continue for another month. For me, that really means a lot, because I know that nobody talks about this stuff the way that we do and holds the line the way that we do, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the fact that, you know, if you call out everybody's behavior, that means that you are not on anyone's side. And that has issues. Like, we are on the side of men, of course, but nobody else is. Nobody else is. I mean, not conservatives, not really. Maybe they can be held to the side of men better than liberals, but they aren't really on men's side. We are 100% on the side of men. Not necessarily to the exclusion of women, but to a reasonable compromise between the two. And one of those compromises needs to be recognizing how women affect men, how men are not served by this society, and recognizing that making sure that men have a reason to be invested in society is essential for the future of that society. No, very few people want to talk about that, and they don't want to talk about it as consistently as we do, because they see the cost of this. They see the cost of this conversation. Much easier to identify an enemy and just keep beating it down. Even if that isn't going to get us anywhere, that isn't going to solve the problem. We need to fix the relationship between the sexes. We need to recognize that women have a significant responsibility to society, to men, to children, to themselves, to other women, and that men can't do everything. Men can't be responsible for everything. It won't work. And very few people want to hear that. You guys are the only ones. You are the stubborn few, the brave, the bitchy, the completely ornery, the disagreeable, the ones who want the truth regardless of how painful it is. So please make sure we can continue to talk about that truth and not let it go quietly into the dark night. So feedthebadger.com/support. We exist because you enable us to do so, and I think the world would be much worse off if you woke up one day and we weren't able to continue this work. So once again, feedthebadger.com/support. It's within your power to prevent that from happening. All right. And also to make me feel a lot more comfortable.
All right. I got a super chow from who is that? Some Cash. And they gave us $5, and I guess they also supported for $5 and says, gotta update my money tracker for August to see if I can donate more later, but here's some help. Well, thank you for that.
Excellent.
All right, so let's play some more of the video, because this is where it gets more fun.
To say, engage in it. Perhaps the solution is get away from these areas full of debauchery, go out to smaller areas and find something more wholesome. If cities have embraced this culture to this degree, then perhaps the solution is to recognize that and get away from it.
You can, but that does not necessarily save you, because that woman is still going to be open to the globalized sexual marketplace. She still might go to college in an area where she might still go to university where...
Okay, I'm pausing it there for the banana.
You know what? I don't even think we need to pause for the banana. If this dude isn't getting hit by it,
he's not. Well, but then I don't know. Like, we're playing his video.
Sam Seder.
So Sam Seder would probably use the full might of YouTube against us, even if it was a clip that he took from Tim Pool. So I'm not worried about Tim Pool coming after us. I'm worried about Sam Seder.
No, but Fresh and Fit is right that the bigger the pool, the okay, so if it's just the men in your village, you'll aim for the top 20%. If it's the people in your province, you'll aim for the top 5% because there's lots of them comparatively. And if you're globally, you'll aim for the top 1 or 2%. That's what you want, especially because you're being shown them.
Yeah. If you know it's an option, then you're gonna, as a woman. Yeah, I get it. Okay, let's play some more of this because it's not over yet. This clip is another 30 seconds.
Being promiscuous and everything is encouraged. At University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, someone sent me a picture of this. They're literally giving girls honey packs and condoms.
Y'all are just sorry.
What?
Doesn't this help their chances? If women are promiscuous? I mean, am I crazy?
Maybe
No,
they want a real relationship?
Yeah, maybe they don't want just to get their dick wet. Maybe they actually want to find a wife.
No, it doesn't help men's chances. Given women contraceptives, condoms, honey packs, whatever you want to call them.
What is a honey
right?
pack?
It would be like some lube and maybe some tingly stuff or whatever. I don't know, right? But they're giving that away. Okay, that does not increase any man's chances other than the dudes who are scoring all the poon. Right? Like the top 20. Right? And they have found that when men are overrepresented in a population and women are underrepresented, they have always suspected, right, that men would become worse behaved. They would become more competitive with other men. They'd become more aggressive, more like fighty and stuff, right? Okay, and then they tested that and they found that actually in communities where there are more men than women, the men behave more socially responsibly, right? And it's because when men outnumber women, it's basically they have to, if they want a relationship, they have to actually behave responsibly and, do good at their jobs and be stand-up guys and, and be attractive and compete for women on the scale that makes them attractive, the scales that make them attractive to women, right? Whereas when women outnumber men, like in the big cities, what do you get?
Yeah.
Well, it could also be that men have to, because cooperation is one of the things that supposedly makes men more attractive. So maybe in the larger populations of men, they have to develop an identity of cooperation.
Yes,
not just to
because most of the time in these high male populations, it's because there's a resource economy and the men have to go out and they have to work together to cut down trees or pump oil or extract natural gas or whatever, right? But what they found is that in the cities where women outnumber men, right, the men behave badly, and it's because when you have a situation like that where you have a limited number of men and you have a bunch of women who are not looking for a long-term relationship, they're just looking for the pleasure of the moment. Okay.
Mr. Goodbar.
Yeah. They go for the bad boys, and so everybody wants to be a bad boy, and a bunch of men end up cut out of the dating pool, the reproductive pool, and then they actually aggressively compete with other men. They don't cooperate, they compete, right? So the smaller if you have a 50-50 population of men and women in a given might be okay, but if you have 35% men, 65% women, you're going to have total lawlessness among the men, because there's going to be a group of men who hoard all of the bitches, right? Based bitches and sex every day, right? And you're going to have a bunch of men who are cut out of it because the men are not competing for long-term relationships. They're competing with each other for short-term gain, right? And that is, and not just short-term gain in terms of poon, but short-term gain in terms of money and status and all of those things, right? So when you have gender inequality in terms of the numbers of people in a given space, right, you end up with you end up with all kinds of inequalities: income inequality, success inequality, status inequality, right? Reproductive inequality, all of those things, particularly among the men. And then you get social unrest, and you get crime, and you get men acting out and trying to be Jesse James. And that's what they have found, right? So all of those feminists who were like, oh, we need to cull men to 10% of the population to bring about peace. Yeah, no. Well, you're going to be calling a lot of the necessary cooperation from society, because I hate to say it, ladies, men cooperate a lot better. Not just that. We're not going to be culling all the cooperative males. We're going to be making the remaining 10% of the population that is male, right, completely uncooperative.
Well,
that's what you're going to be doing, because that's what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a glut of men and a shortage of women in some place like frickin' Alaska during the gold rush, the men are on their best behavior all the time.
Yeah. Well, there's no women to fight over.
Well, and there's no harems. You can't establish a harem, because instead of like 2 men or 3 men or 5 men who are going to object to that, right? You've got 50 men who are going to object to you monopolizing the women.
Okay. Well, speaking of monopolizing the women, let's see what Alpha Sea Lion
let's go a little
Sam
bit
Seder has to
further
say.
up. Yeah.
Well,
They're taking advantage of men.
There's a two-part problem.
Oh, you
Women
care
are being
about men?
Yeah, right.
No.
I think she's being sarcastic by saying that women that are being promiscuous are taking advantage of men. So let's go on.
But not with them. That's the problem.
You're right.
That's the problem. But
Sam Seder is saying that these women don't, like, the reason why they're mad is because the women don't want to have sex with them. That is the most original take I've ever heard.
Can you not scale up the sexual choices of women? Like, we are literally selling the labor of grandchildren that will never exist. Okay? Yeah. Can you not scale up the sexual choices of women and see how a society is ultimately reflected by them? Like, the funny thing is that this is something so obvious, so basic, an understanding of reality, that you know what? I can't even complain about him. Godspeed to you, Sam Seder. You found your calling, which is to make caring about fundamental aspects of reality in the West into a joke. Like, to care about the continuance of our culture into a joke. You've made it into a joke, but there are plenty of people who are perfectly willing to pay you to do so, because that means they don't have to care about or hold women to any account, which really makes us feel good, because, to be quite frank, people want women to be pampered. They want women to have every choice under the sun. They want women to achieve everything. They want women to live in a world of gold and jewels and silk cushions and as many sub-Saharan African eunuchs as you can eat. They want them to live in that world. So almost everybody does. Almost everybody does. Almost everybody wants women to have the best life. They want women to live in heaven, and they will sacrifice men to do it. And we have come to the point where our civilization can no longer fit the bill for the particular kind of heaven. Well, I guess we can, for a few more years, fit the bill at the expense of anybody under the age of 25's future. We can continue to fit the bill for this heaven that we've constructed for women. And you are there as the cracks in the foundation form. You're there with your little jester hat, pointing and laughing. We don't have to pay attention to that. Let's just do a Tea-Tums festival. It's
Tum-tum tum tum tum.
Tum-tum-tum-tum. We don't have to care that the world is sinking. The cracks are forming. We don't have any grandchildren's labor to sell to keep underwriting this. Incidentally, this woman over here is doing the I want to age 30 years face again. And we don't have to, we can just point and laugh. It's all a big joke, isn't it? Really? Okay. Well, I'm glad you don't have kids, Sam Seder, and you can enjoy.
He does.
Oh, he does.
He has a daughter and a son, and he's fucked them. And he's fucked their kids too.
And he's continuing to fuck them.
Yep.
Because it won't necessarily hit for you. I don't know how old this guy is. Maybe he's my age, your age, Brian? A little bit older?
Well, I don't know. I look younger than that, and I'm going to be 50 on Monday.
Oh, congratulations. On the big 5-0. Not very happy with that.
I don't know.
I'm racing towards it myself.
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah.
50 is nifty.
Okay. I'll take it.
Just watch out for 52.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Watch out for 52.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a pile of poo?
I don't know how old he is. But if I learned that he was younger than me, I wouldn't be surprised, even though he looks older.
Okay, but my point is, if he has kids, he's fucked them. He's continuing to fuck them. Women have to take responsibility for how their choices are helping to construct our society, our future. Okay, demographic collapse or ecological disaster. That's where women's choices are putting us. Either men have to pull their bootstraps up, pull themselves up by the bootstraps, like Peterson says, and earn that extra 40,000 so women can spend another Earth's worth of material goods and actually plunge us all into complete and utter ecological devastation, or we just face a demographic collapse. Or women need to stop with their expectations and mediate them. And realize that you are not a Habsburg princess. You are at best an average peasant woman. You don't deserve anything more than an average peasant man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's play a little bit more, and I guess we should do some thank yous and super chows and stuff. But let me play. I want one more minute of this.
Like, you understand, they'll talk all this data and about how there's some societal problem, but the bottom line is, what we're hearing is a group of guys who want women to behave in a way that is consistent with the way that they should behave.
These guys can get laid, Sam.
What?
Oh, well, he is consistent with what? With how they should behave?
He's trying to look. Let me. Can I finish? Let's finish this first, because he's a little long-winded, but he's getting to something.
With women are becoming more successful and independent, and therefore it is a problem for men. Well, maybe the problem has been that men have been acculturated to treat women in a certain way,
like chattel.
That was reliant on the essentially the oppression of women, who could not have, whose options were limited by society.
Wait.
To the benefit of men. Who?
All right, that's that clip. That was the
women's success is irrelevant unless it excludes men from the reproductive marketplace. Like, no man, very few men, are going to say no to a high-powered lawyer who loves them for who they are and doesn't care, that genuinely doesn't care what they make, wants a companion in her life, and is fine with a man who simply makes her life easier by fixing her car or her computer or fixing her lattes when she comes home. No, there's a lot of guys who'd be perfectly fine with that. The problem is that women aren't. Women don't want companions, Sam Seder. They don't want what feminism said they were going to be released to want from all these shackles. They want a man who makes more money, who is taller, significantly taller than average now, who has a dick that you could probably double as your freaking microphone there. All right? They want the top 10% of men, which means the bottom 90 are completely out of luck. And you are even saying that. You are even conceding the point. But what you're saying is that it's still men's fault because women have the right to have, well, basically government jobs, which was exactly what the harem was. You know that the harem was a bureaucratic instrument, a centralized bureaucratic instrument. Women were in the harem. They were bureaucrats. All right? They weren't just harem girls. They functioned as part of the bureaucracy. Okay? That's what we're seeing now again. And guess what? The collapse was not fun. And you can say, oh, this is really about a bunch of men saying, oh, hey, well, I don't get enough pussies on my dick. You can say that as much as you want, but guess what, Sam Seder? Here I am, a woman, and guess who I'm with? Another woman and a married man who are all saying the same thing. What are you going to say to that? Of course, he's never even going to recognize it. We're saying the same thing. This is not something that counters the actual argument. This is simply saying, well, oh, it comes from men who want to have sex with women, therefore it's wrong.
Yeah, well, having sex is always wrong if you're a man. Give me a couple minutes. I just need to get dinner in the oven.
Oh, that's fine. We should do let's do the super chows and thank yous while Karen is doing her thing. So I'll start with the super chows. This way, like that's like all out of the way. You know what I'm saying? So I got god damn it. My mouse is there. It is.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Okay, I got a new mouse and keyboard because my old one broke, but this one's got it's a little.
I have to.
I think it's Chinese,
my
sure.
laptop, my keyboard is totally screwed. Like I think I just destroyed that keyboard because I type a lot, apparently very loudly, and Jonathan's, my husband, is gonna be replacing the keyboard, which is if you didn't know anything about Mac laptops, it's quite the procedure. It's almost like brain surgery.
Yeah.
All right, but
anyway,
that's just me sharing what's happening with my keyboard.
No, it's fine. I got a super chow from Great Indoors.
Oh no, what's going on?
And he gives you $10. He also sent a donation, but I'll let you do that part. And he says Tim Pool is so stupid for using those Tinder, OkCupid, and Plenty of Fish stats because those numbers are totally not representative of dating in wider society. But Emma, please wax some more slam poetry about that one bad experience you had on your dating app. Good grief, what a bunch of hypocritical morons. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if it's an anecdote that is in favor of their argument, then it's basically data. But if it's data that is against their argument, then it's anecdotal. So, welcome to their twisted reality. And then I got a super chat from Michael Fox for 10 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, Michael Fox. And he says, can we just take a moment to acknowledge how all this alpha beta Greek alphabet shit is just astrology for insecure men? Well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that either, but I don't hate it that much. You know, I'm like kind of concerned with people like Sam Seder. I'm not really worried about the fresh and fit guy. I'll be honest with you. At least those guys are like have one foot on Earth. And they're not controlling our government and our schools and our media and our entertainment and everything else with their ideology. So I'm okay with that. Granted, I don't think it's a perfect system, but I prefer it over men bad, let's destroy society, fuck men, and, you know, let's only promote women and all that. So, call me biased, but, you know, I think there's clearly one side of this discussion that's doing a lot better, even if it isn't perfect.
Yes, the alpha beta whatever stuff is a little bit ridiculous. However, to push on add on to Brian's point, the behavior of attempting to destroy other men in order to be recognized as the alpha, Sam Seder is 100% engaging in it. In his case, instead of creating a meritocratic hierarchy with certain standards involved, like Fresh and Fit does, so, you know, you're healthy, you earn a certain amount, you have skills, whatever else, he is constructing a framework in which he gets to expel men from being considered human. He is the morally correct man. Other men are criminal, corrupt, and diseased. There's a big difference there. Like, you can just not be fit, but still be, you know, like Fresh and Fit probably would still encourage you to work on becoming closer to the ideal, or as close as you could to alphaness. But for Sam Seder, if you don't adhere to his framework of what makes you a decent or a person or a man that's worthy of existing, then you're not worthy of existing. You are criminal, you are diseased, and you are corrupt. And you should be excluded. You should be thrown from the circle of firelight of the tribe.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there. Fresh and Fit is presenting an ideal that all men could strive to. Sam Seder is constructing a Holocaust or a genocide.
Well, like, whatever you would call an androcide, I guess.
An androcide.
A culling of impure
he's using
men.
the rhetoric. He's using the rhetoric that gets men killed en masse.
Yes.
It's the same kind of rhetoric the Nazis used. It's the same kind of rhetoric that used against the Allies, used against the Germans in World War I. You know, it was the same kind of rhetoric used against black men, Irish men, Italian men, a new group of immigrant men. It was the same kind of rhetoric that justifies violence against groups of men, and he is using it because he's a warmonger.
So, do you have any thank yous?
Oh yeah, I do. Just a second.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right. So Timothy,
let's do it.
Timothy W gives us $25. Thank you, Timothy W. And Great Endures gives us $100. I think that came through with the super chow that we mentioned before. And AA.C, and that's as much as I'm going to say, gave us $100. Thank you, AA.C.
I gotta do some sounds for that.
Yeah.
Back on the menu, boy.
And I got.
Here's another one. Hold on. Nice. Thank you so much for that. And
okay,
that was like 3 donations, right? Wasn't it 3?
Shoot. Yeah, I gotta respond to something because Hannah's setting up her show. Maybe.
Oh, just tell her really quick that because the WordPress is just down, you just have to ignore it. Just skip that step. Because yeah, it's been down all week, so I haven't been able to post on the WordPress on honeybadgerbrigade.com. I don't know, something going on in the back rooms, got nothing to do with us. Our apologies, but it hopefully will be fixed soon. Okay, so are there any more thank yous, Allison, or no?
No. As far as nope. But I do want to do a call out. I know this is sort of like a personal thing I'm requesting. I would like to actually be able to take tomorrow off. I'm been dealing with some sickness in my family, and so if you could please just if you are able to help out and you want to help out and you want to make sure that we are able to, I would love to just
hit
not have to do another.
Hey,
yeah,
I'll do this. If you guys want more Rantzerking, I will stream Neverwinter Nights 2 tomorrow, and then you'll have Karen and Allison in there. in spirit. So I'll
In
stream
spirit.
Neverwinter Nights tomorrow on Honey Badger Arcade. So Karen and Allison are in the game, so we'll just do it that way. It's basically the same experience. Let's be real. So
Okay, so I know this is sort of a selfish thing to ask, but if you'd like to give me a day off, please consider putting the funds in now rather than later. If you are going to be helping out. So that's feedthebadger.com/support. Very much appreciated if you would do that. I will get to relax. And that would be great. So, and again, if you want to send us a message, it's feedthebadger.com/justthetip. Let us. We are getting to something good, right? Or have we gotten?
Well,
to the
there
good
is
thing?
some more good stuff. We could always do another, like the rest of this later, because it gets really juicy later. But I don't know if we have time because Hannah normally sets the show up at 6, and I think she's getting started. So we should probably maybe just do one more clip or something. And stop.
One
there. One more. Okay.
One more, and then I'm
You want a
done.
credit card? Well, you're gonna have to marry me before you get your credit card.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Literally,
this is something I've actually wanted to ask you for a while, Karen. I knew the year that men weren't expected to take on the debts of their wives. But I forgot it. It's something like 1967 or something.
Yep.
So literally, Sam Cedar, when women couldn't get credit cards unless a man signed off on it, it was because a man was legally responsible for paying it.
Yep.
It's like, and in some cases, like Karen has said, if you were a single woman, the idea with that is that you would likely get married, and the credit company would like to know who it was who would be ultimately legally responsible for your debts.
So it would
You completely omit that.
It would be either your father or your brother or your husband. If you were a single woman and you had a really good reputation, because you had all these little legal freaking ways to get out of having to pay back your debts, right? That your creditors just did not have any way of collecting from you, because you were exempt in so many ways, right? They wanted to know what male who could be held responsible for the debt, was willing to be held responsible, and they wanted to look at his credit reputation, right? And widows,
And it wasn't
widows tended to have no problems getting credit because they had maybe 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 40 years of protecting their husband's credit.
What?
Never outspending their means, never going into default, never abusing their ability, because women had this ability of going into any proprietor, any shop, and saying, I want to buy this, and this, put it on my husband's credit. And if the husband always paid, right, then the local shopkeepers realized that her credit was also good. Because she wasn't spending out of She wasn't
spending out of her means. Yeah. So the idea that women couldn't get a credit card, women couldn't get a credit card in their own name until they couldn't actually shift in only their main name until we got to the point where they couldn't shift the debt over to a man.
Yeah, no, until they were burdened with debt only in their name.
Yeah,
right? That's the issue, is that, you know, when you had women who could, I'm a single woman and I can't get a mortgage even though I have this great career. Well, you have no fucking credit history, and if you don't pay your payments, then the bank's got no recourse.
Yep.
Unless you have a male who's willing to co-sign on your debt.
Yeah. So essentially, the women couldn't get debt in their name until they were 100% themselves responsible for that debt legally. What is the problem with that again? Okay, and this is the context that they completely omit from consideration in order to construct this reality in which women have to latch themselves onto Sam Seder to feel like they'll get a fair shake. No, women always got a fair shake.
Yeah, no, they always got an equitable shake, right? It wasn't, women were never treated the same, but they were always treated equitably, right? And that I'm sorry, but if you're going to say that, women's sports have to be preserved and women's locker rooms and bathrooms need to be protected and need to stay women only, and girls and women need extra protection and special consideration in terms of, medical treatments and stuff like that. We need to have funding for, and I can understand why they put more funding into breast cancer than into prostate cancer, right? Because breast cancer hits earlier in life typically than prostate cancer does, and it's the direct killer of more women than prostate cancer kills men. Most men who die of prostate cancer are already in their 80s, and you have a situation where it's like 1 in 9 women will get breast cancer and 1 in 30 men will get prostate cancer. Okay, I understand, okay? You don't have to fund them equally in order to be equitable, okay? You don't. But you do need to actually say, as a woman who wants some of these extras, some of these perks,
wants to be treated special compared to men.
Well, who wants a little bit, not special compared to men, just differently compared. If you want to be treated differently compared to men, right, then
you have to recognize a difference.
That's not just the fucking gorgeous, juicy hip of beef, right, and beautiful freaking truffle potatoes, okay, mashed potatoes. It's also the 3-bean salad, okay? You can't just pick and choose how you want to be treated equally. You can't just pick and in this, in like powerful careers, I want to be equal. But in seats on the lifeboats, I think, I'm not as good a swimmer as a man, so I should be treated differently. You can go fuck yourself, right?
Yeah, choose one or the other.
One
and the other thing
or the other.
What I pointed out on Twitter recently is that when you frame the history of humanity, is Brian back? When you frame the history of humanity,
I never left. What are you talking about?
I thought you left for some reason.
No,
are we done that clip? Are we done the clip?
No, there's like 30 seconds left. Do you want me to...
Okay, then let's finish that clip.
Let me see. 8:41. Yeah,
unless
there's
you
like
want
30
me to
seconds.
finish
No,
my
let me
thought.
finish the 30 seconds first, and then we'll stop it there, okay?
Okay.
Also, you want to pursue your dreams? Actually, just kidding. You can't do that either, because then you
what the
just
fuck
need to
are you
serve
talking
me.
about,
Forget the
lady?
distribution though. Like for every time one of these, sluts is going and having sex with
Dude, why
somebody
do
who
these people
isn't
look
these
like they're on
guys,
drugs?
there's also a
Or
guy
at least she
doing it.
does.
So why are we enforcing this?
We know this about Jordan Peterson. His whole
Wait.
problem with that you had the top
did the
tier.
producer-
Remember he said this to Joe Rogan. You had
did
the
the
top
guy
tier men.
But aren't those
having sex with all the women?
But aren't those really
therefore there's
promiscuous guys?
incels?
Yeah, but they're chads.
Those guys must be super promiscuous. Why are we?
Well,
going after that?
it doesn't. They're allowed to be. The women aren't.
And that's
I mean,
They don't. They're not.
Did the guy off camera call the women sluts?
I don't know.
I think he did,
did.
so with tongue in cheek, though. He's suggesting that this is what Fresh and Fit and Tim Pool would call them. But then
Our
again, to actually, like, it should be okay to call them sluts because I thought that we were embracing sluts in the slut walk, and but then there's slut shit. I don't know. I've gone cross-eyed.
Okay, are we done yet, or do we have more to do?
We could stop it here, and then like
I don't understand what was added. I don't understand what was added. Like
essentially that like I guess the thing is that they're doing the thing where a reasonable voice, like Jordan Peterson's voice, he was saying on the way that women select for men is as bad as like whatever Fresh and Fit believes, as whatever Tim Pool believes, as whatever the Manosphere believes, because he sort of like lumped in the men's, he called the men's rights people for, you know, for old time's sake or whatever. And I guess it was just what I got from it was essentially reinforcing my point that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson or Warren Farrell or Fresh and Fit, you're going to be lumped in to the same group by people like Sam Seder and the Majority Report.
You know, now they're basically lumping almost everyone in our group.
It's basically
there was a while there where when they called someone a men's rights activist, they were talking about men's issues. Not just the issue. Like, this is, you know, women could do whatever they wanted if they paid as much taxes as men. Let's be honest. Yeah. Like if women paid as much taxes as men, this wouldn't be a problem. If women worked as hard in all of the industries that everybody hates, like sewer work, line work, all of this other stuff, if women were pulling their weight in making sure that society continued to exist in the professions that actually matter, not just the ones where you get air conditioning and you don't have to wade hip deep in shit. Like, if women were doing all of that, none of this would be a problem. They could be as promiscuous as they wanted to be, but they're not. They want the harem, they want their asses powdered, and they don't want to help build, like, do their part in building the men who are going to do that, who are going to maintain the industry, building and motivating the men who are going to do the jobs they don't want. Like, literally, lady, you're looking so snide, but if you had hip waders on and you were wading through a sewer, you would have and half of women were doing that, there wouldn't be a problem. There would be zero problem. None whatsoever. If women actually were doing the work to maintain society, there would be no problem with their choices at all. But they're not. They are not. And they are not even doing the work to produce men and motivate men who will do those jobs. And if you don't want to do those jobs, then you damn well better do the work to produce and motivate men who do. Get it? And until you do, you're not, and the thing is, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this because I enjoy being a misogynist. That's just a fringe benefit. I'm saying this because it's the truth. This is reality.
Well, and it's not to be mean to women. It's not to be a misogynist, and it's not to be a misandrist either. It's just you see what's coming down the pike.
Yeah.
You see what's coming down the pike, and you know. It's like I said at one of the end of one of my iconic, most popular videos, right? If men went on strike for 3 days, we'd be 3 years.
That's optimistic.
3 years cleaning up the mess, and who need to do that? Men.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's optimistic, honestly. I think that 3 days, we'd probably be done. But she doesn't know that. She's willing to have men occupy the roles that entirely construct her harem. But she's not willing to do the least amount of work to create the men willing to do it, even though she doesn't want to do the roles. And she doesn't see that has a real, that's got a Best Buy date that's coming up. That's got a Best Buy date that's coming up, because we can't keep appropriating other cultures' resources. Really, what we're doing,
future generation, cash,
and the future, that there's a point at which, your credit is going to run out, lady. And again, like, none of this would be a problem if women put their money where their mouth was and became equal partners in making sure that society runs, real partners, doing the work that nobody wants to do, the work that isn't prestigious, the work that's stinky and dangerous and uncomfortable and doesn't involve sitting on your ass in an air-conditioned office.
Or just consume a little less.
Or consume a little less.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, just actually do what the feminists said they would do and relate to men as companions, not
Yeah.
as objects to acquire more material goods that the earth cannot provide. There's all kinds of ways that this could be fixed without taking away your credit. Well, maybe you will have to take the credit card. Will be have to be taken away from the West.
I think the credit card needs to be
Taken away.
at
Revisited.
least. You don't necessarily need to away. You just need to embed it in a giant block of ice and stick it in your freezer, so that when you really wanna buy that new mini skirt or whatever, or those new shoes, that you have to chip it out. I think that might be enough, because chipping a credit card out of a block of ice it's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And it's more effort than most women are willing to do.
Okay. So,
Ultimately, that's the problem. Women want something that they are not willing to purchase, either with motivating men or doing it themselves. And
Yeah, well,
eventually men are going to be like, well, what am I getting out of this deal? Like, you can say, oh, yeah, dude, you can do my plumbing, and dude, you can do my electricity, and you over there, you can do my roofing. And then at the end of the day, you're like, but I don't want to pay you because that's misogyny. No. If you don't want to do the work yourself, then you have to figure out a way to motivate and pay men for that work. Or it's just not. And
Reward
honestly,
them for it.
you are not in a moral position to say to those guys who are doing work to keep you alive, you are not in a moral position to say, I am owed that work, because you are not.
No.
They don't have to continue to do it. All right. I'm
all
done.
right. So, I was gonna say, should we stop it here? Because
Yeah. There's
all right,
more
so
juicy stuff. Maybe we
there
can do a
is-
bit more.
There is. We can maybe do another thing. There's a lot more. Maybe we can do another show next month or something. For the next fundraiser. I think it's worth going through. But
Okay.
I do have a super chow that I want to read through really quick. And so let me get that on there. And it's great indoors. He gives us $10. Thank you.
Good news, everyone.
And he says, I want Karen to say, poke it with a stick so that Brian can add it to the soundboard. So, Karen, if you could.
Are you okay? Poke it with a fucking stick.
All right.
Crap, I got in there. Unless you're recording.
I am recording it. That way
I am
easy.
the
fly in the ointment.
Floridian.
Yeah.
Do it again.
All right, let's do it again. Okay, Karen, go ahead.
Poke it with a stick.
All right, that'll work. And
No.
You want to do it again? Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Poke it with a stick.
Oh, okay. Faster. Do it faster.
Poke it with a stick.
Oh no, I stopped. Okay, no.
Okay, all right. Okay, wait for Brian to say it, and then go do it really fast and energetic and aggressive,
This
like
is
you're
taking-
killing the
Why
person
is
with
it
a
taking
stick.
so long? Okay, go ahead, Karen.
Poke it with a stick. It's what I want to do with you right now.
All right, cool, got it. Oh my goodness.
All right,
All right. So that
add it to
was.
the soundboard.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, it's not gonna happen right away, but I have it, so I will get that squared away. Zaranx gives us $2. Says Brian, Karen needs to say her Neverwinter Nights phrase. Well, that is. I mean, hold on. I can save this. I don't know
Wasn't
what you
it poke
mean.
it with
Is
a
it?
stick?
Well,
It
that was one. The other one was it's time to take out the trash, I think. So that was the other one. Let me save this first, and I'll export it as an MP3, just so that that it's not in the way, and I'll just say poke.
Okay, when did I say it was time?
I don't know. It's a long story, Karen. But I want you to say it's time to take out the trash, all right? I think that's what Xerings is asking, so go for it.
I don't... Okay, when did I say that, though? What was the context?
You didn't. You said it in the game. It was your character saying it. Brian made a version of you in an RPG where he can create a party. Yeah. So it's the version of you in the game that said it.
Oh, God. Because I would never say that.
No? None of you are angry and you're going to hurt somebody?
Okay, it's time to fucking take out the trash.
Okay, that's perfect.
All right.
Yeah, that's 7 a.m.
I guess my character didn't have
never
anything
happy.
Well, we'll get into that. I mean, as time goes on, I've only just started, so export as MP3. What I'm gonna try to do is, well, I want to talk about it now. Let's just get this closed out and end the show, I guess. So.
All right. So last call, like last day to help for our fundraiser, feedthebadger.com/support. Get them in. Do it.
Or I'll upload a video tomorrow and it'll just be those feminists wailing.
Okay.
All right.
Nobody wants to see that. Actually, maybe they would want to see that on your channel. Okay, so feedthebadger.com/support to make sure we can keep going. And it is definitely up to you to do that. Don't think that you don't matter, because you matter to us and your support matters a lot. Feedthebadger.com/support. And if you want to send us a shout out, send us a tip, you like the work, you want to respond to anything that we've said during the show, go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip, where you can put in a message and we will receive it in our Discord, our patron Discord. So once again, that's feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And back to you, Brian.
All right. So I did get one more super chat while we were talking of Ergo Proxy, because it's $2 Canadian, and says, "Don't forget my Nick Cage yelling testicle." I got it. I still have to like put it on the board, but thank you so much for that. And we're gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully we'll hit our goal. If you guys like this video, please smash like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you think about what we discussed in the show today. There is a link to the full video in the description. And please share this video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of the Rantzerker, and we'll talk to you all in the next video.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.